All right, we're going back to that morning with JP Miller to find out exactly what happened. This is part two. If you haven't seen part one, go listen to part one.
When John Paul Miller got the call from the private investigator that Micah had moved on from him, John Paul picked up the phone and began frantically calling Trisha Ross. Ross, who was staying with her daughter that weekend, was asleep. So John Paul picked up the phone and called Trisha's daughter. At 2:05 in the morning, Trisha's daughter answers, and John Paul allegedly demands to speak to Trisha. She goes and wakes up Trisha and proceeds to listen to the conversation between Trisha and John Paul Miller. According to Trisha's daughter, John Paul was wanting to know what type of car DJ was driving. And an alleged text message exchange happens between Trisha Ross and her daughter. Trisha reveals that she was trying to calm John Paul Miller down and says, "We all do stupid stuff when stuff like this happens." Hours later, Micah Miller files a police report that her tires had been slashed. John Paul denies slashing those tires.
And you know this is adultery, right? This is straight up adultery.
So is Susie.
Because we're not legally separated. Even if we were legally separated, it's still adultery.
You were.
And I am incredibly sorry. And I honestly do not expect a...
Why do you think she called you? Like, do you not see you talk about this discernment, you literally have zero discernment. But do you not see that a married woman called you and asked to meet you at the beach?
I do. That was incredibly...
I thought you had discernment. You said you had discernment better than a 70-year-old man.
It was saying better than some 70-year-old men. And, I'm not on the phone to argue with you. I'm repenting to you. I honestly don't know what else to tell you other than to ask you for your forgiveness. And honestly, I don't even expect that from you.
No, I forgive you. No, I forgive you.
And, I am sick to my stomach just from all of it, the whole thing.
You know, Micah did the same exact thing to me 10 years ago. Exact same thing. We met at the same place.
Really? Yeah, and it was just incredibly stupid on my part. And I take all the responsibility.
And she's saying she wants to...
He sounds just like Jack Handley, circa 2006, 2007, after I had our youngest child. And he continued his extracurriculars with other humans. And I went out dancing with our neighbor to celebrate her birthday. And I met a DJ. We didn't do anything. We didn't kiss. We didn't nothing. But he did give me his phone number. And when I tell you the number of ways Jack Robert Douglasino Handley lost his shit and called that man, and he was going to turn him into his squadron commander, and he was going to ruin his career. And that DJ, he was such a nice man. He was such a kind human. And he messaged me, and he's like, look, like, you're a cool human and all, but, like, I already got wrapped up with a married lady once. And I was like, yeah, no worries. Like, I'm good. I don't know what his problem is. Like he wanted a divorce, like, 12 seconds before he snatched my phone. So this is typical. This is how they react, y'all. This is a narcissist. This is what they look like.
You or marry you or anything like that?
Like he's trying to belittle him.
Really basic conversation. And honestly, she didn't even really mention you or anything. It all just like...
That's my favorite.
Normal conversation. She talked about like the Valorous Church and how she was going there and liked it and stuff.
And you kissed her or she kissed you?
It was really like a mutual thing.
Y'all were holding hands?
Yeah.
Okay, well you didn't answer that earlier when I said how y'all were touching. You never said y'all were holding hands.
You're right, but yeah, you asked. Yeah, you're right.
Y'all held hands for a long time.
I went definitely not the whole time, but I mean, an extensive period, definitely longer than we kissed.
But remember the waitress The woman that John Paul left his phone number for in a restaurant just a few weeks prior to March 11th, that alleged conversation lasted for weeks, where you can allegedly see John Paul begging for photos. And just 2 days prior to March 11th, on March 9th, this alleged text conversation between the waitress and John Paul Miller took place.
You know, I just made love to her 4 weeks ago.
Oh,
She told me I was the best husband in the world. And you know everything I've been through with her. And just like that, you're going to take that from me. Like, just like that, you're going to ruin. She's never slept with anybody other than her first husband. I'm the only person she's ever kissed up until now. So if she comes back in 3 months or 6 months, what's that going to feel like?
That's a lie. I thought she kissed her friend, her girlfriend.
And I warned you. You know I warned you.
You did. You're right, you did.
And you got mad at me when I warned you. You got all defensive. And your mom got upset and sent me a really, really mean text. Because I'm trying to save your butt from the same thing that I fell for.
Yeah.
Don't go on the property. Don't have anything to do with anything at Solid Rock until I look at the videos and see if you're telling me the exact truth.
Micah Miller officially moved on from John Paul. She was done with him.
Good for you, Micah
And weeks later,
Francis.
according to police,
Good for you.
Micah took her own life in a North Carolina state park.
I don't believe it.
And believe it or not, there's even more to March 11th. And the FBI has it all.
Ooh, and that is a narcissist wound. That interview, that interrogation, ooh, that's when you've wounded the narcissist. Man, do you hear the jealousy? Y'all, do you hear it? Why does he care? He's been dating Susie for 2 years. I'm pretty sure, you know, he might have been the one that her husband Chris was supposed to be meeting to play a game of chess with. You know what I mean? You can hear the superiority complex in his voice. He's enjoying making DJ squirm. He's getting a thrill out of belittling and demeaning and condescending DJ. I'll tell you what, I stand by my original thought. Good for you, Micah. Good for you, girl. I am glad that you got that moment. And I hope that there were others. I really do. I hope that she enjoyed every minute with DJ. And I hope that he has some real special memories of just the two of them. Things that Micah has only done with DJ. Parts of her that only DJ has seen. Imagine the creativity that went on in Micah Francis's mind while she was in this love affair. Imagine all the things that DJ knows that no one else knows about Micah Francis. That's amazing. Good for you, girl. That is a win, honey bun. That is a win.